Today's podcast episode is sponsored by
Michael and Michelle Lassen, First State Bank Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender.
Visit us on our website at yourlakeloan.com. We want to be your home loan professionals, your lake lenders.
Lake listeners, thanks for tuning in to more of Season 6 with our Grow, Thrive, Inspire podcast, a podcast to help you grow both personally and professionally, to thrive with clear goals and visions, and to inspire. So whether you're a full-time visitor here at the lake or hope to be either in the future, we know that you're going to love this episode as much as we do. So today on the show, I'm super excited to highlight a local business that has had some deep roots here at Lake of the Ozarks. I have this great gentleman here to highlight it with me. And then he was also raised at Lake of the Ozarks, been a part of this business since he could legally work. This business has won Best at the Lake in all categories for years in a row, with service being a top priority. You can call them the Fil A of the boating business. So it's my pleasure to welcome my new friend, Mr. Kyle Kelly. Kyle, thanks so much for being here, letting us come and, invade your space. But I'm super excited to learn more about you, the history of Kelly's Port, and all that goes into it.
Kaylin, we're glad to have you. What better place to talk boats than...
Oh my gosh.
And a boat, right?
This is probably the most expensive boat I've been on.
Yes, this is a pretty little boat. They go up and down from here, but we love our job. We love the whole dynamic. We love Lake of the Ozarks. So why not talk about the business that we're in, which is fun and something that's
super fun. So Kyle, I just want to talk about kind of yourself personally and kind of where you found the passion to do what you do. So give us a little history first.
Sure, absolutely. So family business. Dad started the business back in 77. It was we call him a greaser bartender that didn't know the first thing about boating, but sold literally every stitch of nickel that he had underneath the couch, and bought a boat dealership called Gatlin's back in 1977 because he was just an avid boater. Loved serving the customer. That's kind of been our mainstay, has been service and a dedication to taking care of the customer. And both Ryan, my business partner, and I, we share that every single Tuesday, be it with mom and dad or our kids or together. We're just passionate boaters. We love getting on the water. Yeah, some of my favorite memories that I've ever had of growing up in this world, be it like we used to commute to work and it was freezing cold in February. We used to sit on Dad's lap as his lap warmers, as he called us, or just those great lazy Tuesdays of just coving out and sitting in the water and just talking about life together with family. We're very fortunate and blessed that we have a great business that not only do we love it outside of the job, but we love serving our customers and living vicariously. I mean, there's nothing more fun than watching like the family walk in the front door. They've got their kids and their cooler, like a Labrador in the back somewhere, and they're like, "Where's our shiny toy? Like, let's go." I mean, that's literally every single day of what we do in our life. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. I'm not saying there's not work stuff in the back end, but there's the hot days or having to do a pump out in the gas dock. We've all been there before, but honestly and truly, my brother and I and our family and especially our team members, we're so passionate about it. We love it. There's nothing else I'd imagine doing, and
That's awesome.
We love it. We're very fortunate. We sell fun every single day.
So what has changed at Kelly's Port since you guys kind of took over? So you grew up, in this business your whole life. Like, what was that like? And then transitioning to now running it.
Oh, of course. Yeah. We're fortunate and blessed. I mean, back when we were in the Gravois Mills location, we literally lived at the marina. There was an old crappy house built like in 1927 up the hill that we used to live in. And, it was Gravois Mills, and it was like, Mom, Jane Kelly, was the self-described first and best gas dock girl that Kelly's Port has ever had.
I've heard that.
We've had a lot of young ladies come through, and a lot of great young ladies we have, but she's the first best. But Mom and Dad were, running that dynamic, and we had 5 other employees, and it was just a bootstrap thing, getting up and going. And now the organization has grown to, just like Lake of the Ozarks has grown. We're about 50 overall full-time personnel, and 10 or 12 gas dock girls that hang out, and again, still growing, but the dynamic has changed. That we've been fortunate enough as the Lake of the Ozarks has grown, as has Kellysport ability to open up more funnels. So instead of us just having one line of boats, we've got multiple line of boats. The one thing that has stayed consistent, though, has been that dedication to customer service.
Well, and I'm glad that you said that, because that's my next question is, like, what do you love about Kellysport the most and your team when that is concerned? Like, if I was a customer coming in to buy a boat for the first time, what can I expect from you?
Absolutely. So great question. So first and foremost, so full disclosure, speaking of our team, myself and my brother, we do have our name on the door, but we do like this much of the overall work inside the organization. So even though I've got my name on the door, other than some YouTube and some podcasts and some running some numbers, I do like very, very, very little overall. We've got a great team that is really supported our clients and surrounded kind of our mission, our vision, our values of the organization of taking care of the customer. Maybe different, maybe not different from other marine retailers that are out there. There's a lot of great competition, but our difference, you joked about being the Chick-fil A, ours has always been that friendly service with a smile. It's real easy in the boat business to get burnt out. You're into the season and you're dragging butt and it's hot, and to get the frowny face. But the one thing that we've always prided ourselves on is it may not be our problem that we cause, but we're here to take care of it and address it for the client. We go above and beyond and really truly exceed customer expectations as they come in, and that's kind of been the one consistent theme. We've got a lot of great boats, Tiara that we're in, Regal, Bennington. We've got some great partners that are inside the organization, but what truly does distinct us is that, we are one of the largest service departments in the area. And we've just got a thoroughbred tradition of going above and beyond of service and taking care of the customer.
I love that. Now, is it true that you guys are nationally ranked for some of the boat lines around here? So what's that?
Yeah, so Lake of the Ozarks as a whole, that's actually probably one of the largest freshwater boating markets literally in the entire United States of America.
Okay.
So Florida, obviously with the coastline, it's larger. The Great Lakes might have us a little bit in some of the pocket areas, but quite frankly, Lake of the Ozarks, name any other freshwater body at Lake of the Ozarks, not only Kellysport, we're consistently in the top 10 of all the 3 partners that we have, but there are a lot of other great dealers that are down here that are consistently top 10. I mean, there's been a time period, right before the TV show came out, no one had any idea who the heck we were, where it came from, but quite frankly, the Lake of the Ozarks, it's probably, as far as a single body of water, probably in the top 5 for sure, if not the top 10 as far as recreational boating in the entire nation.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I had no idea that was even like that. So pretty factual. What, as far as boating trends, are you seeing currently?
Absolutely. We're in the fashion business.
Okay.
I didn't realize this until a long time ago. I know, exactly. It's not so much that what Kyle wants, it's what our clientele wants. It's amazing to see that dynamic shift and change. One thing that's been pretty consistent, we're a second home market, so a lot of it is the families, typically multi-generation, 2 and 3 generations. I'll use our family as a perfect example. We used to see a lot of the big, larger cruisers that were down here kind of in the mid-90s, early 2000s. Using this boat that we're in right now as a perfect example, some of the center console, the larger bow rider, and even the larger tritoons have really kind of taken over that market, because a lot of folks that were using that big, large cruiser in the mid-2000s, they never overnighted in the boat. They maybe use a toilet, maybe a generator, but not much more than that. Whereas these, as you're seeing, it's a lot more of a day boat mentality. So we've seen our day boats go from, back in the mid-2000s, the biggest day boat that you had was like 28, 29 foot. Well, like in our Tiara line, we have day boats that are 48 foot overall at $2.2 million, so it's just, we've really seen the dynamic that, and there's still some folks that overnight and enjoy that lifestyle, but they are a very small percentage comparative to the overall boater down here at Lake of the Ozarks that typically I've got a large home and then I've got whatever XYZ boat that's down in the water. And the nice thing about Lake of the Ozarks, it's such a diversified body of water. you see more different types and varieties of boats down here than you do in just about any other market.
I could probably see that. I could understand where that comes from, because I guess ocean, from what I've understood, is a very particular kind of boat. Is that right?
100%. Yeah. You go to, we just visited a friend of ours in Cape Cod. It's center console boats and lobster boats and like nothing else.
Oh, okay.
You don't see surf boats. You don't see pontoons. Whereas Lake of the Ozarks, we're so varied that you have all of that. You've got PWCs, surf boats, pontoons, go fast boats, cruisers, center consoles, fishing boats. I mean, you've got such a varied. If you look inside the Lake of the Ozark Marine Dealer Association, we represent like every boat line that's probably ever existed.
Wow.
That's super unique. You don't see that in the Central Florida Dealers Association or the Northern Michigan Dealer Association. It's just a real varied, and that's what's nice about the lake is, man, bring what you brought. You like surfing? Go buy a surf boat. Go have fun. They're awesome. Surfing's awesome. You know what? You want to go fast? Go fast. Or, hey, you're going out with the family. You get
I've even seen a few sailboats even.
Yeah, so there's that unhealthy dynamic between power boaters and sailboaters. There's always that constant animus. So like a power boater, like what I am, I look at sailboaters who say that the wind is free and everything else should be too, that we just have this constant like love-hate dynamic. So
That's
just
awesome.
kidding, sailboaters. We kind of love you too, but kidding aside, yes, we do. To your point, we have just a myriad of everything from John boats to mega yachts and everything in between. That's very
So,
beautiful.
in your opinion, what would be the most like popular right now?
So most popular right now is definitely going to be, as far as unit counts go, Tritoons are super hot. They ride well, easy to drive, easy to dock, and that's just kind of your family SUV. They used to call it the minivan, but now it's the SUV. Bow riders are probably a really close second, especially because a lot of manufacturers, like I talked about from day boats, they go anywhere from 19 feet all the way up to 48 feet. Center consoles are really taking on. A lot of folks love the big. On the back of this boat, we've got 1,200 horsepower sitting on the back that you can use. I know it's crazy. 365 days a year. That's pretty cool too. So that's definitely, as far as market share increases, we're seeing a lot of market share increases in that outboard, be it high performance, dual console, fishing boats. That's really taken on, and I think you'll continue to see that grow as well. But again, it's a dart all over the board. It's fashion.
I love it.
Again,
That's
just follow
crazy.
those fashion trends, whatever direction we can go.
So, what are some like common boating issues?
Sure. Boating issues. The biggest one that's kind of come up consistently since we've been in business since 1977 has been the wake issue.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So my dad used to talk about in the early 90s, Regal Boats came out with a 25-foot 250 XL Empress. Beautiful boat. And Dad used to talk about he would drive down the main channel in a 25-foot boat, and everyone would do that
churning
thing.
water. Yep.
Yeah, there might have been another finger when they had the fist out, but they were just not happy at all. And it's funny now because that dynamic has changed, because a 25-foot boat, if you go out the main channel on a holiday weekend, you might not feel that comfortable. You're not going to be the biggest guy out there. It's not uncommon for us to see boats that are in the 40s and 50s now. Both sides of that debate very much have some very honest, straightforward issues that are both right. So I say on both sides of those, the guy that's rabble-rousing and shaking his fist, 100%. He's got a point. And then the other guy on the flip side of that's driving his boat.
Yep.
He's got a point as well.
Right.
The biggest thing that we really push and educate within the four walls of Kelly's Port, and I'd encourage everyone out there, a lot of it just comes down to courtesy. If you've got that big boat, that's a bigger cruiser, 40 foot, we sell them, we're in one, they're cool, they're awesome, they're totally cool. Just really, really be cognizant. One, you're just not plowing all the time.
Yeah.
Like they call it semi-displacement. If you're driving down and plowing, that's a transitioner speed. Get up and go. Okay. Or bring it down and just cruise. Because the reality is, when you're in a boat like this, dude, you got bathroom, generator, air conditioning. You're pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
The difference between going 10 and 15
Not
miles
that
per hour
much, yeah.
doesn't matter.
Right.
Because at 10, you're doing this. You're just cruising. At 15, you're plowing and you're throwing a really big wake. And then secondarily, really be cognizant on a boat of this size that, especially when you get in the coves, the docks that are built for the coves versus the ones like I have a home in the main channel.
Right.
I built a much nicer dock, spent more money on it. Just really be cognizant of that. And that buyers, you guys in the real estate market, as you understand, if I'm going to buy a house in the cove, I'm going to expect pretty calm water. Whereas if I buy a house in the channel, I'm going to expect a little bit bigger water. So just do your best to be cognizant, and that's what we encourage and teach all of our clients is listen, really be cognizant. 1, don't plow, but 2, when you're coming to the cove, the biggest thing is, number 3, just take your time.
Yeah, just take your time. Enjoy the fact that you're on the lake, right?
It's we are in the best waiting room you could ever. There's waiting rooms at the DMV, at the dentist's office. Those suck. Yeah, those are not fun waiting rooms. Right. But like this is a pretty nice waiting room. This is a lot of fun. So yeah, there's a lot of that debate, but realistically, there's going to become, at some point, there's going to be an influx curve because we're not seeing a lot of those mega yacht cruisers really anymore. It's actually inflecting, kind of that pendulum is starting to swing back towards some more of the day boat vessels like we're in that don't produce as much of a wake out there, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. I'm actually glad to hear that. But it's nice to know that, you can get down on either side of that perspective. But I think that a lot of people, especially tourism that comes in, a lot of those people don't necessarily know how to drive properly on our lake. So I love bringing light to the fact of, just like you said, a simple thing as a speed change could really impact those around you. So that's interesting.
I'm sharing something that it's common courtesy, and you can talk about this in the grocery line at the line at the grocery store, or we're talking about the DMV, or just on the highway. The same holds true for boats as well. There's other folks out there doing the exact same thing that you are. Let's just be cognizant. Let's be courteous and just be a good human being to everybody out there. And we encourage people. A lot of folks, they do get intimidated. Like, can I come down here on a holiday weekend? It's like, yeah, just do a little bit of research of where you're going at.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in a 25-foot tri-tune, it might be a little rough in some places, but dude, go to the state park.
Right.
That's the beauty of Lake of the Ozarks. State Park is gorgeous all day long. You can go in any boat that you want to. Check out the Flower Pot Cove. I mean, go find your own cove where no one's there. Cove out, enjoy yourself. Or if you want to be in the hustle and bustle, you can do that too. That's the beauty of the dynamic of Lake of the Ozarks, is we have all the offer.
So let's talk about some predictions for this year for the next set of boat sales. So you said 65% of all new boat owners have owned 0 boats, which I found
that's a crazy figure. Everyone gets freaked out.
Mind blowing. So boat shows were record breaking, obviously. So typically that bodes well for the 2023 economy. So what are your predictions now?
We're hoping for a pretty good year this year. So now, I don't know how much that's going to parlay into the real estate, because you guys are really restricted on demand. It's not like us, like pontoons. With Bennington, they build 75 to 100 of them a day. So if we're like, dude, open up the spigots, we'll take everything we can get. But what we kind of found in the boating industry, and I hope you guys are going to see that in the real estate dynamic as well, the people that started, let's say we had 10 people that were shopping for boats in COVID, okay? Out of those 10, maximum 4 out of those people got the boats.
Right.
So they ordered a boat, they put their name down on it, or they were shopping, or they just got sick and tired of it and said, I'm tired of the price increase, I'm tired of the wait, or not getting the right boat that I want. So at least 60% of those people took themselves completely out of the marketplace. So we've still got a big, heavy demand of folks that still want to be boaters that are still kind of a heavy backlog. Now, we're starting to see that supply chain kind of tick back over the other direction. In the fiberglass, I wish we were better. We're probably going to be in the same situation that we were last year. Aluminum, we're probably further down the pendulum a little bit, but I'm not speaking just from us, from our association. All the other dealers that I spoke with, just like us, had excellent, if not the best in history boat shows. Not only dollars, but unit counts as well. But all the dealers in Florida, Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, they've actually got us, we're doing this filming, the Palm Beach Boat Show, and I've heard good things going on there as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff on the news if you turn that on right now. But with that being said, I still think we've got a pretty good outlook for specifically Lake of the Ozarks if that if the symbiosis of both of our businesses kind of converge in the real estate
Absolutely.
side of things.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, that's really exciting, though, because it's interesting. You would think that people moving down here, for example, being the real estate side of things, that they automatically want a boat, right, when they buy a lake house. So I was just curious if that prediction kind of went with the trends of real estate.
And again, so our concern with that, pairing with that, was, okay, well, maybe all of these people were folks that had already bought houses and they just sat on the sidelines from the boating market for, a year, 18 months, 2 years. And we're not seeing that either. We're still seeing a large confluence. So at our marina location, we've got a dry storage and wet storage, a place we can keep boats.
Yeah.
That is still just full.
I'm sure, yeah.
Long list of inquiries. And we're asking these folks, hey, you have a place down here? No, we're just kind of getting started, but we still want to buy a place. So I even though there's some crazy stuff going on in the news these days, I still think this year and some years moving forward, I still think there's some brighter years for us at Lake of the Ozarks as a general populace down here.
I do too. Yeah, that's what we're seeing in our market as well, is just nothing but positive, outlooks with, people still wanting to come here now that we've hit that, national level of attention and houses being built, things like that. So I definitely think that it's going to continue to grow myself.
Yeah, you guys are still in a bad inventory position,
yep.
right? My
yeah, well, we are nationally. I mean, you think of after the 2008 crash, housing development just kind of stopped there for a second. So that's what really caused the lack of inventory that we faced, during the COVID instance. So, but we're going to get there. I know that development is starting to come back around, and we're starting, we have to build it.
Which is a good thing for both of our retail customers,
Yep.
because I think we can all agree on the real estate side of things, and I know certainly we saw on the boating side of things, the last 24 months, we needed some equalization.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
there's so many times we sat down with our buyers and we were like, all right, here it is. It may not be the right boat or house or condo for you. And yeah, you're probably paying a little bit too much. And everyone was just like, I don't care, I'm going to take it.
Don't care.
Yeah, and I think, I hate to say this, but compared to where we are at, I think a little bit of having that pendulum swing back over, so there's a little bit more options for our customers. There's a little bit more reason and ration introduced into the conversation, because the last 2 years, crazy, just completely and totally irrational,
Yeah.
complete and total right brain thinking, man. It was all emotion of, fear of missing out, FOMO 100%. So I think it's going to be nice, because I think, in fairness to all of our customers, I think there needs to be some more options, and I don't think having folks feeling that sense of urgency or being pushed necessarily in a transaction, that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, it's not.
Especially long term, I guess I should say, for overall Lake of the Ozarks. You guys may hate me and yell and scream at me on this podcast whenever I'm saying this, but having us have a little bit of depreciation from where we were at in the height of that COVID craze, long term for Lake of the Ozarks, for all of our customers, probably a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% agree. All right. So now I want to get to the marina for a second.
Of course.
Just because I could not come and do this show without asking you this question. So what are some crazy, marina stories that you could share on air?
Share on air. Oh, my gosh. All right. So we talked, all right, worst part of the job at Kelly's Port is pump out. So what pump out is on a boat like this, you've got a potty inside there to flush the toilet. It goes into a big tank. Well, at our cove at Kelly's Port, back before we had these special fittings that were on there, it was a universalized fitting where you would just, if this is the deal, you would shove it in there as hard as you can. Well, you would turn it on, and it's pulling all of
the stuff, yeah.
We call it boo-boo.
Yeah.
It's pulling all the boo-boo out of the tank. Well, before we had a no-wake cove, people would drive improperly, as we were talking about earlier, past. Well, it would lose that suction. Well, you would have the release of that suction, and about every week, be it myself or one of the poor guest dock girls, would just be covered. And apologies ahead of time. And that would happen, and you'd see just this look of just sadness and disappointment. That was just kind of a just on the same page, being gas dock girl at Kelly's Port. best job in the entire world.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
100%.
I mean, yeah, if I died and come back in heaven, it'd be working at a gas
I
tank.
actually was not a gas dock girl for Kellysport, but I was at a gas dock for a long time when I was a teenager here in Camdenton. And if I could go back and do that job, holy crap, I would. It was so fun. It was awesome.
It's awesome. It's the best job. So we've changed that. But yeah, craziest probably. I'll give you I hyped up our business so well. I do have to share. There's examples as to why this actually is a job. Why we get paid to do that.
Right.
That was one of them back in the day. That all the time. But it was about almost a weekly occurrence that our poor young ladies that are.
What about anybody famous?
Famous. So we're talking about the Netflix television show. The writer for that, Bill Dubuque. He and his family are they're clients and they're great personal friends, is what I would call
That's
them as well.
awesome.
Yeah. So Bill, his brother passed away unfortunately as well, but they're together and they did business with us at Kellysport. I can tell you right now, they are awesome people, salt of the earth people. They've been clients for a time period, and we highly respect them, care for them. They're really great people, and we've got everything from that to different politics and everything else in between. But at the end of the day, every single client, be it a famous client or anything else in between, we treat everyone the exact same. They all get the celebrity. Get the celebrity experience at Kellysport.
That's cool.
But Bill's been a great advocate for the Lake of the Ozarks area. It's been very helpful with his art that he's done in the form of his writing to help folks appreciate the Lake of the Ozarks and. Quite frankly, help put us on the map in a lot of the big ways, and they're great people and just blessed to know them.
So, last question, and this is like rapid fire. I give you 3.
Sure.
Okay, you ready for this? This is personal. So, first one is, where is an area of growth that you want to experience either personally or professionally?
Of course, that's a great one. I'm working on it now with my personal mission, vision, values. I'd like to be like what we're doing, like right now, is being more involved in the community.
Okay.
So where I and my brother and I were just chatting about this the other day, we're so passionate about our work that we were spending so much time working in the business and not necessarily on. It's very easy to lose sight of the forest for the trees when the trunk is staring you right in the face. We need to do a better job, and it's the little stuff. Like we had a float in the parade for St. Patrick's Day, and like we hadn't had a float in the parade as an Irish dealership for like 10 years. Like, dude, really? We're gonna do that? But we're really working on making a better commitment to be more present and more involved in the community. So unfortunately, if you think I'm long-winded, you might have to put up with me a little bit more here, but doing wonderful podcasts like this. I just signed up to be the T-ball coach as both my sons. Yeah,
I just sponsored a team too. So
did you?
Yeah.
Bless you much. Hopefully we'll be in competition. So
Right.
I know we don't keep score, but I'll probably win. So that's the kind of coach. But as far as that goes, we've been so involved and dedicated, and we've always given back in different fundraisers and different opportunities there. We haven't probably been as vocal about it, which I'm fine with, but I think a good thing that Ryan and I, as we grow and expand, is to do better involvement within the community and helping in any way, shape, or form that we can to the community that's given us so much.
So you had a father in the boating industry, and then you had Jane as, Jane. I mean, just
Absolutely.
a hell of a real estate agent. So growing up with you and your siblings, what pushed you to boating versus real estate? Just curious.
Oh gosh, they were both two tough ones. I remember I was helping Mom out delivering flyers, and for the life of me, keys I think are horrible. They're the worst thing ever. And I was sitting there and it was cold, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to do it. But the reality of it is the ability to scale and grow the business on the marine side of it was just a little bit easier, quite frankly, as opposed to which I kind of like. Both Ryan and I kind of like that systems and practices and growing team members like Taylor, who sold the boat that we're in right now. I mean, dude, he's in his first year and he's done better than I did in like my 10th year.
That's amazing.
And I get more fun and excitement out of that. So I felt like there was more of an opportunity to grow that funnel than there was necessarily on the side of the real estate. They're both great businesses. They're both great people share with. We both passionately share. But my joke was it was almost a coin toss. I mean,
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
It's all right. I'm in the boat business. But
I could just see you and your brother and everybody like doing that, like just flipping a coin.
Yeah, we joke with Mom all the time. Like, Mom, sorry, came up heads twice. We're both in the boat business, But Mom's made a wonderful career down here at the lake. But it's a great community, and it's amazing to watch the dynamic of the real estate community here at Lake of the Ozarks. How friendly you guys are, and we even have that in the marine industry well. Gosh, I go to different areas with different boat dealers, with different real estate agents. Oh my gosh, it is just all...
It's like a big family.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Big family. Yeah, it's like, oh, you got that listing? Oh, good for you, girl. That's a nice listing. Yeah. I chatted with Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. That's great. Glad it worked out for you guys. You guys are just keep that, please.
Yeah, keep that.
Seriously, that is so unique.
I remember when I came on under Jeff and Jason, and I was working there, and we had a boat day. It's like we do boat days annually. And so Jeff was like, come on this boat day. So I went on my first boat day, got on a boat bigger than this one with tons of real estate agents, even some boat dealers. I think you even drove by and we waved at you. And I'm just like, what world am I in right now? Because, in Camdenton, I don't have a boat. I don't have a dock. And then I'm surrounded by all of these boats all of a sudden. And it was so much fun. Everybody was just everybody's friends. Get on this boat. Come over here on this boat.
Have a beer over here. Shake the, yeah, exactly.
It's our environment. It's that's the culture of the lake. And I'd never had experienced it until working in real estate. But man, I'm so happy that's what we bring to the table down here.
Which is good. And I think what breeds that, quite frankly, is... Ryan and I are unique. Okay, we're one of the few guys or gals born here, raised here, stayed here. Okay, everybody else, my mom and dad included, they're immigrants.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They are not from Lake of the Ozarks, and that's what makes that culture so good. So I'd encourage all of us, be it boat dealers, real estate agents, hospitality, restaurateurs, whatever else it is, please keep that culture, keep that dynamic. Everybody was new here once too, so welcome them with open arms. And there's some competition, and there's a little bit of stuff that happens there, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Competition is not necessarily a bad thing. And man, it's lovely to see how well everyone, even a competitive landscape, works so well together.
That's
I'm
cool.
so impressed and so proud of you guys.
How do you if our listeners wanted to connect, rent a boat, buy a boat, talk with you just for fun, how would they get a hold of?
Of course, social media. I mean, we've got a great social media. Sorry, you have to see me on there. My wife says you learn more about the videos. You just put them on mute and just see the boat behind it. We've got a pretty good social media presence on our Facebook. Jump on YouTube if you'd like to just see great walkthroughs of boats that are just like this. That are great in detail as well. And honestly, they're fun. If you like boats, it's just kind of cool to learn about how this whole seat turns around and how the boat rides and all that.
Kind of like real estate. You want to see a cool house.
Who doesn't? Yeah. Who doesn't creep on Zillow at night?
Right.
Man? That's exactly the way to do it. We afford the opportunity to creep on Kelly's Port through our social media on Facebook and YouTube. And then if you're interested in getting started in the process at Lake of the Ozarks, you're welcome to jump on our website. Best thing to do, just pick up the phone, call us.
That's awesome.
Hey, I'm thinking about a boat. I'm looking at this. Even if it's not a boat.
Or swing by, because this is an amazing place.
Yeah, we've got our beautiful indoor showrooms, 10,000 square feet. We've got everything from a 38 Tiara down to a 22-foot Bennington. So from $59,000 up to a Milski. We've got everything inside and climate controlled. It's kind of crappy outside. That's why we didn't do this outside on a boat. We did it in here. But come see us in person. We've got a beautiful marina. And if you're already a Lake of the Ozarks resident, come check out our gas dock. We've got some of the best gas prices and excellent service, or call us for service. Just whatever we can do, reach out to us, guys. We've been down here. We try to help out anyone that has anything to do with water. Even if we don't sell, we'd be happy to be putting information for you, point you in the right direction.
Love that. Well, Grow, Thrive, Inspire listeners, we could not be more thankful to Kyle for letting us come in and just invade Kelly's Port, learn more about the history and all that goes into it. We got more episodes coming, so tune back in on Wednesdays and be sure to like and subscribe to all of our pages. Again, on all the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of them were there. Huge thank you to our sponsor, Michael and Michelle Lassen, First State Bank Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, and you can find them at yourlakeloan.com. And remember to always grow, thrive, and inspire, and we'll catch you next time.